Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll get into the showcase for the New Game Plus, Xbox Developer Direct being announced for January 22nd, Steam updates for mods as well as Steam Machine leaks, prices, and RPGs and JRPGs eradicating experience farming and the need for it, and much more. But we'll go ahead and see what everybody's been playing, as it's been a bit since we've been on. Obviously, the holidays and everything has been, taking a toll, and everybody's been kind of tied up. But for 2026, we're happy to get back into it and see what everybody's been playing. And as per usual, Weeb, how are you, man? And what have you been playing?
Hello. Happy New Year to everybody. And yeah, I need hope that everybody weathered the holidays, came out on top, and is ready for a great year of gaming once more. I mean, even February is already looking packed, so yeah, it's not relenting at all. Um, I've played, it's been 3 weeks, so I guess I've played a couple of games. I finished Possessors, just playing before the holidays, which is a Metroidvania, sort of similar to Hollow Knight, but a bit more forgiving. You lose your souls or whatever they're called if you die, but you have a chance to get them back. But you can also store them at a save point, so you generally are safe if you're careful with not running around with all your savings on your person. Um, Overall, I did enjoy it. It had an interesting story, not necessarily original. I mean, I've seen it before. Basically, evil corporation controls the entire city. Everybody's working for it, aka Umbrella Corporation. Um, Doing some evil shit. They're turning demons into batteries, and then you're of course all hell breaks loose when they finally escape, and you're sort of left trying to figure out how to escape the city. And your main character is a teenage girl who's possessed by a demon, but not fully possessed, and like she loses her legs and gets like these sort of prosthetics that are allow her to do all the crazy shit she can do. And yeah, it's pretty creative in enemy design. Like demons possess like pretty much everything, so including appliances. So you're fighting like monstrous file cabinets and cameras and all weird stuff like that. And it's pretty challenging. Like you will die a lot. Bosses are pretty hard, but not undoable. Like once you learn their patterns, they're quite doable. Um, and yeah, even your weapons are like real like appliances. Like you're started with kitchen knives and a baseball bat, and my favorite, the axe, which is like a guitar that is your heavy weapon, which wasn't in my preferred weapon because it does the most damage, even though it's pretty slow. And yeah, I overall liked it. The only thing that sort of was my sort of pet peeve is that the writing was, I mean, the story can be good, but the writing can be like sort of cookie cutter, right? Like it is not sort of how doesn't always flow naturally, and I got quite annoyed with the main character because she was like in a way accurate as being, this is how teenagers would react to a situation like this, and she's quite sympathetic when you sort of learn her background. But on the other hand, like every time she sort of should use her empathy to understand and sympathize with the demons who are basically victims in this, like they were exploited for using it for basically turned into little batteries. uh she somehow is incapable of extending that sympathy towards the demons and towards her, her personal demon who was possessing her. And that was quite frustrating because it kind of kept up until the end, where it's like, okay, when are you gonna evolve as a person? And on one hand, like if this was intentional, which I doubt, but if it's intentional, then then hats off, because that's really uh, how the world is. That's really how people can so easily be, in a sense, two-faced, where they're are very sympathetic to people to who are similar to themselves, but are very unsympathetic towards people who are different. And that sort of, if that was intention, hats off. That's how and then he succeeded. But I doubt it. I think it was just sort of their sort of limitation in the writing. But overall, I do recommend it. It's a fun Metroidvania. Lovely art style, creative enemies, quite challenging, but not impossible. I didn't go for the plat because they're. I did got pretty far with all the trophies, but there were some trophies that require you to find pretty much every collectible. And I hate, yeah, me too. In particular, the fucking lobsters, because there was like, there's sort of the bonus collectible, and like, okay, I must have them by almost all of them by now. Like, oh shit, I pretty much have half of them, and I've like explored everything. And the problem is that there's not many guides for this game, so and there's no way, like you can see in the map sort of how many you're missing, but it doesn't pinpoint them on your map. So it's like, so I could literally spend hours in this game, because I did try to explore everything and see, okay, now I have all abilities, I should be able to unlock everything, but I was not able to find all the collectibles. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, I've got shit to do, and after that, I played Eric's Home, which I was waiting for the physical release. It was, yeah, and finally got. It was delayed a couple of times, I guess. I think eventually it came like beginning of December. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved their take on stealth mechanics. And yeah, I mean the story, the acting in particular, like this is kind of an example where, I mean, the writing was okay, but there were like, you can sort of see some of the dialogues didn't like flow always naturally, but it's like you didn't even notice it because the actors are so good. Like they can just read the back of an instruction manual, and it still comes off as being epic, as being meaningful, and they were so good. And yeah, the gameplay was also really fun. Like, I mean, I think you guys already talked about, but like when you unlock all the characters, and you have to switch between them, and you have to sort of really time it right. Some of the enemies you can only take down with two characters at the same time, so you have to sort of it is like, you have like, once you unlock the blow dart, you think, oh, it should be easy now, but then you still have to be careful, because because it takes a while for it to take effect. So if you are in the line of sight, you're still going to be spotted, and it's game over. But yeah, I did manage to get through it. Kind of wanted to continue playing as soon as I sort of was really into the story, and got plat. So I
Nice.
did.
Congrats.
Thank you. And after that, I've played a couple of demos. The Dragon Quest demo, which I haven't finished yet, but I'm since it carries over, I will continue playing it. Everything that I imagined from it, like, looks great. It's I mean, I'm fairly early in it, but so the charm of the Dragon Quest series is just there. The music is absolutely fantastic, and it's probably one of the few games where I might just play it in English, because that's kind of thing is like, if you're just hire proper British actors. It somehow classes things up, so it feels more authentic because it's sort of a pseudo, medieval setting, which kind of always feels more appropriate than if you have a couple of, New Yorkers or I don't know where they're from, acting as if they're in medieval, which sort of takes you out of it. But yeah, this dub seems to be pretty up there. Also played a little bit of I forgot the name. There was a demo from that sort of Parasite Eve spiritual successor. Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
Code Violet.
no, not Code Violet. No,
It is not Code Violet.
That's not the name. Okay, my bad.
no. I mean, I just look it up here.
Yeah, you're talking about the Parasite Mutant is what it's called.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've played it very briefly. It really does feel like a spiritual successor. It is kind of sort of awkward, especially after you're used to like expedition turn-based system where you're like, okay, yeah, this is a turn-based system, but it's basically you can get to move around, have to dodge enemies because they're attacking real time, and basically your attacks are sort of timing based because you have to wait until your meter charges, and you can only use your abilities when your meter is fully charged. Otherwise, you can just use your melee attacks. And so I still have to play a bit more of it to figure out if it's any good. But yeah, it is at least interesting. And also played a demo of I think it was called Dino Blade. It was sort of the ridiculous game where you play as a dinosaur with a giant sword and just fight other dinosaurs with giant swords. Which it is sort of Souls-like, but it's not really. It's really Souls-light. I think because it's not particularly gruesome. I also not even sure if you actually lose anything if you die. You do just respawn at a save point, but I haven't
It's
been.
Souls-like. Basically, you don't get too punished unlike Souls game.
I didn't quite get that, Omar. You may have to get a bit close to the microphone.
You're
but
far away again.
Basically, it's kiddie Souls-like. You don't get too punished if you die.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really get that. So yeah. But it is kind of it's kind of interesting. I have to. I think I probably at the end of the demo because I was fighting a huge boss before for the podcast started. But yeah, it is kind of doable. Like it doesn't feel like this is the Souls games where it's just like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna torture you and you're just gonna have to get good or suffer. And it's like yeah, sure, there are bosses that probably will like that boss has killed me a couple of times, but I got very close, so I think it's quite doable. It is clearly a very indie like game. Like you can see that it doesn't have it's not very optimized for Steam Deck. Like I really had to sort of tweak the graphic settings because at some point like it was the frame rate was dropping to to slog. But yeah, it does have potential. So I'll keep an eye on it and see how the final game turns out. And I've also been playing Kingdoms of the Dump, which I've been enjoying thoroughly so far.
Yeah, because that shit is fire.
Absolutely. I think I'm pretty far. I think I'm already in Act 3. So
nice.
But yeah, it is surprisingly good. Like you're thinking, okay, a very silly concept. Like you're playing as literally as a trash can. But that story, the twists, and just the world build, like you can have a silly concept, but if you're commit to it and just build the world around it and make it convincing, like it just works. And it's so satisfying. Like it is, it's turn-based RPG, but with a sort of grid system where um, you can in addition to attack, you can or defend whatever. You can also move around your characters. So yeah, if you move them up front, they deal more damage, but also receive more damage. And there are tile effects where you can enemies or you can create poison tiles or burning tiles that do extra damage or elemental damage. So yeah, and each character has like their own sort of skills you can use. Some very subtle. Like I just noticed that, like I was playing a level where suddenly ventilators were blowing, and I couldn't proceed with my character was basically a jacket, and okay, I had to switch to Binsley because yeah, he's a trash can, so he's a little heavier, so you can move ahead. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. Like love perfect sort of storm of yeah, having a fun concept, plenty of jokes, but also plenty of serious stuff that going on. Where you're literally empathizing with a with a trash can and a giant rat and a jacket. And it just works. Like I absolutely love what they did there, and I'm sort of trying to get through it, and I think I'm probably halfway through the final part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends because it's an absolute rise so far. Definitely one of my favorite games of last year. Yeah, that's what I'm playing.
Cool. Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Just glad to be back. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been here, but I hope everybody had a great holiday and a happy new year. We made it to 2026, so it's always something to be happy about. As far as what I've been playing, I've been kind of all over the place. Because when the holidays come, things start shuffling around. So when I went down with my family, I took my Portal and decided to play some Mafia, Mafia 2 remake, because I like to play it because it's on Christmas, because I consider it a Christmas game. So I decided to play that for a little bit and had a good time with that. But then after that, once again, as always happens, I start just dabbling in every other game that I have that's been sitting in my library that I haven't tried yet. So I kind of was bouncing between like 3 or 4 different games. I played some of the Somerville game. It was good. Haven't beat it yet, but yeah, it's that indie side scroller game. Um, yeah, it was pretty good. I'll probably go back to that later, but also played what the hell else did I play? Oh, I played the Stone of Madness. It's like one of those top-down mystery puzzle style games. It's essentially where you're a priest, I believe, where you're locked up in this monastery because you found like there's some corruption going on. There's some dastardly deeds going on in the background, and you were going to expose them. So, they decided to lock you up, and you essentially befriend a group of other like-minded members of the monastery, like a nun, a kid that lives there, one of the groundskeepers, just other members of the monastery who are also kind of in prison there. Um, because they found out about the bad things going on there too. And so it's like kind of like I said, a puzzle game where you have to figure out how to get out of the monastery so that you can bring the evil deeds to light. And each member of your group has specific skills that they have, like one's strong and they can like move boulders out the way. Another one can distract members of the guard that are around the monastery. Somebody else is stealthy. And so you kind of essentially have to move in a way where you can, get through the monastery, get through the garden, past the guards and all that stuff to get out. And that's how you kind of beat the game. I'm only on like chapter 2 of that, but I really like the art style of this game, and the concept and the story are really good. So it's another one that I kind of put to the side, but I'm definitely going to get back to because I enjoyed it. And also like Weeb, I played the Dragon Quest 7 demo. I finished it. It's pretty good. I mean, I really like the art style of it, the concept of them um, you know, taking those dolls and putting it as the characters of the game. I think that's really cool. But I have to ask Weeb because, I can't really ask Nate, he's a known Dragon Quest hater, so his opinion's always biased. So I have to ask you, Weeb. Does the combat get a little bit more complex? Because it just kind of felt like I was kind of like button mashing the entire time. It didn't really feel that challenging. And I understand that I'm on like the demo was only like 7 hours, and I'm sure it's a very long game. So there's obviously going to be more that I do, and it's gonna more cities and islands or whatever to explore. But does it get a little bit more complex? Because it kind of just felt like I was just like, okay, here, attack, 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 kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I can't speak on this game, but I mean the gameplay itself is sort of very straightforward. It's not like it's not going to be a Final Fantasy where it just has a very convoluted a way of trying to reinvent the turn-based system. Does need reinventing, but it is it probably will get more complex in terms of types of damage, effects. Yeah, I think like 13 was like they didn't have quite some challenging bosses, so it's not that it's gonna be super easy all the way through, but at its core, like it doesn't have any particular mechanics like Expedition, for example, had.
Right.
I think so. No.
Yeah, because this was my first Dragon Quest game. I've never played any of them in the series, and the demo was up, so I was like, hey, might as well give it a try. And I do like the story, the characters. It was just the combat. I was just like, it's kind of easy. But I mean, if it's gonna get a little bit more difficult, where I actually have to start, being like, all right, guys, we got to strategize for real, then I'll probably, I think I'll pick it up. But I enjoyed it. I like the graphics of it. I played it in Japanese and English, and you're right, like both of them are really good. So um, I'd have to pick which one I'd want to play in. But yeah, it was good. I was surprised at how long it was. I was like, damn, this is really going. This demo is really going. Like, when is it gonna stop? But yeah, it finally did stop at like the 7 hour mark. But yeah, I think I might pick it up. But I'm back to my true love, Octopath Traveler 0 right now. I may or may not be playing at this very moment on my portal, but you can't prove that, so it's okay. I'm at like the 90-hour mark. It kind of did like a pump fake on me at like around like the 70, 80-hour, the 70, 75-hour mark where like the credits started rolling, and I got so mad. I was like, hold up. There is no way I am done with this damn game, especially because like I said, I've been like grinding, so I was like 10 levels above all of the missions that I was doing, so they were pretty straightforward, pretty easy, weren't really hard for me. So I was just like, man, come on now, they can't be the end. But apparently it's like a fake ending, and now there's another whole act of bosses and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, thank you, because I was about to be so upset if it was done and all I had to do was just kind of like clean up a bunch of like side content. But the story's still going on. It's still going on strong. I was gonna get upset, but I'm happy. And the story is just getting better. So it's not that it's not to be expected with Octopath. The writing is always great, but yeah, the story is just getting better as I keep playing it, and my love for it has not diminished whatsoever. So I'm just looking forward to this next act and seeing what happens with my characters, because the drama, as per usual, is fantastic. It's always at level 10, but that's what I like about Octopath. It's so dramatic. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Yeah, no, I I agree. The false ending thing is not unusual for a long
Yeah, I was on the
time.
phone with and I was about to be pissed. I said, "Yo, the credits are rolling. Like, what's happening right now? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?" I was about to freak out.
No, they did it way earlier than most JRPGs that do the kind of pump fake thing, where you beat the game but you didn't really beat the game. Um, but yeah, quite a few people mentioned that. So yeah, you are not at odds with thinking that was an awkward place to stop. And then most people realize, there's still like you might be like halfway through the game at best. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's what I love to hear.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, which I definitely thought was an awkward place because it was like, okay, I clearly don't have like half the characters yet, so I was like, there's no way this is over because you
Exactly.
can't even get them all yet. So yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from. Um, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Good evening. Stop everyone. Yeah, what have I been playing? Lots and lots of games. So we start with the first game I finished. It's called Ravi Ribi. Basically, it's a bullet hell third person Metrovania. Think like Toho or the other Metrovania games. But this one is way more focused on the bullet hell part. And its biggest component is basically it's almost every character is a female, I think. So it's a waifu game with difficulty, if that makes sense. I finished it. I couldn't get any further because wall jump is super fucking wonky. This one I got the plat for 1 and 2. It's called Tesla Guard, Tesla Grad. Basically, it's a puzzle game, but what I love about it is not per se simple, but it's not per se too difficult. It's difficult enough. You get uh, a device that allows you to dash through lighting, through enemies and stuff like that. You get the device to be able to control a magnet, uh, blue or red, and they've found a way to make boss fight fun. And the best thing about these games, they are both a single byte game that you can beat literally in 5 hours or something like that. And I literally bought them each for €1. So that was a phenomenal game that I got the platinum for. Another game I played is called Fire Girl uh, Hack and Splash Rescue DX. This one saddened me. Despite getting the platinum for it, um, it got boring really quick. It, I love the concept. I truly love the concept. Basically, it's a roguelike where you play as a girl that um, put fire out and you got a little bit of backslash in it mixed and you shoot a lot and lot of water. I truly love the concept, it's just the execution is so terrible. And the final boss was so bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. But I did get a plug for it, and this one is absolutely dear to my heart. It's called Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Um, I think this is from the I'm not a developer, but producer from Ace Attorney. What I will say is this is one of the best story I've ever played. It's up there with 13 Sentinels when it comes to story, how there is so much twist and turn, and your gameplay is so simplistic, but they made it so much fun. Basically, you're a dead person and you're trying to figure out why. Who are you? You have amnesia, and you get the ability to go back in time 4 hours before someone passing, and you can possess them. By doing so, you can possess your surroundings, and you need to link a person from point A to point B. There's a demo for it on PlayStation, and I can't stress it enough. One of the best game I've ever played, story-wise. Uh, Character-wise, is so phenomenal. It's so funny, but it's also so deadly in sense of like you see them dead die a lot. It's not gory, but it's like you see a piano falling on a person's head, for example. You see him getting flattened, something like that. I can't trust this enough. I highly recommend it. Uh, the last game that I'm playing right now um, is called Dot Hack GU, Last Record. Um, I've always been a fan of MMO single player games. That's the genre like this, like CrossCode. If you guys know any other game like this genre, let me know because I'm always on the lookout for something like that. I'm in the second CD. The game has 3 CDs and an extension, a fourth one. I already beat the first CD a long time ago, 2023, I think. So I went back to it just to refresh my memory when it comes to the story. And even then, it took me 20 hours. I'm now on the second CD and I'm around 14 hours or something like that. And yeah, what can I say? It's not actually you. It got phenomenal storytelling, but where it lacks it in the gameplay. The gameplay is so one-dimensional, sadly. Um, I hope I heard rumors about them working on a new dot hack. I I hope that they what you call it overhaul the gameplay because we are right now on PS5 generation. We need a new gameplay mechanic when it comes to the attack. But besides that, yeah, no, that's about it for me.
All right, cool. As for myself, again, a lot. Kind of like Morgan was saying, I kind of been all over the place. Um, been finishing up the campaign for Ace Combat 7. I've also been playing Star Renegades, um, turn-based RPG. Ended up getting it on both PlayStation and Steam due to all the sales that were going on. Ended up being like $3 or $4. And then I've also been playing through Fantasian Neo Dimension. So I did start that as well. Interesting gameplay mechanics with that. The whole kind of system where you can manually target and kind of decide how many enemies you're going to hit depending on the way your skill works, whether you're doing like a boomerang skill that could go around and hit like 4 or 5 people and things of that nature. So that game's been really interesting as well. I'm still pretty early on in that. I did also try the Front Mission 3 remake demo. Front Mission 3 is my favorite front mission of all time. So I had to make sure they knocked that one out the park. So I'm interested to see how it ultimately turns out when we get the full game. Again, like I said, that was my first exposure to it, and it's largely the most popular one out of all of them that everybody has kind of gone with over time as a tactical mech game. And then also played Firefighting Simulator Ignite with Morgan and Fox. That was crazy. Some of those missions are insane, but it's a lot of fun. We fell through the floor at some points from the fire, getting too hot on certain levels and freaking out, and I was, dying, oxygen deprived, and I fell like basically directly into flames, and they couldn't really get me. And then Fox came up and she fell in the flames.
Yeah, I just let them. I wasn't about to fall into the flames as well. Listen, somebody has to live to tell the story. So I decided that I wasn't going to sacrifice myself for them. So I let them die in the flames because I have to carry the story forward. Okay.
Yeah, Morgan was a trooper though. She found the power while we fell through. So on that last level, because that was atrocious. There is a lot of mechanics to the game. Depending on which mission you're on, and that one was pretty tough. We had to cut off power on 3 different levels and rescue a bunch of residents and kind of, get the ladders going, and ultimately...
I had my axe. I was chopping down doors. Shit.
Yeah, the game is really good. They did an incredible job. The performance mode holds up really well on PlayStation. Honestly, man, the game is just super, super fun. So definitely something we probably get back to this weekend and play some more, because it was just a ton of fun. You get plenty of upgrades. We got to work with a bunch of different fire trucks. We got some of the real big boy fire trucks that have, the huge ladder that you could race to the top, and then, so you can get the fire out on the roof. And Morgan actually got to. It took us forever to get this person to follow, but we eventually, Morgan got somebody and rescued them off the roof with like the crazy ladder and stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
No thanks to Nate, because he couldn't figure out how to work the ladder and he kept putting it in the wrong place. So I almost died in the flames thanks to him.
I mean, that's fair.
He eventually figured it out.
I did. Once you explained that there was an alternate camera mode, so you could tell when you have it in the right place, which I did not know. So we figured it out. I'm getting rid of the rookie stripes. But yeah, the game is a ton of fun. So if you guys haven't tried it, the game is incredibly fun, which is, a testament to how much fun a lot of these simulator games are. Because obviously earlier, last year we played Power Wash Simulator. So shout out to these guys who create these simulator games. They're always doing a good job. And then, of course, the main thing right now, Octopath Traveler 0, pushing through, trying to get all my main people, some of the people I need to push through. I'm almost where I need to get Ulbrich. Anyone who's played the previous games, you'll know who that is. But he has the infamous skill in JRPGs that allows you to break the damage cap. So I need to get him expeditiously so I can stop hitting 9,999 damage when I should be doing way more. So my goal right now is definitely focusing on getting to Ulbrich as fast as possible, as well as one of the other guys I should be able to pick up, so I can really start my next level farming run and make the climb to 99. Because right now farming is kind of annoying. It's kind of tough. Where as far as like the way that I like to do it, because I'm missing some key features and key skills that you get from other characters that I couldn't get quite yet. So now it's kind of slowly coming together. I have one of the characters I needed, and now I need like 2 more, and I should be almost to both of them. So I should be able to really start pushing some of the higher levels and going kind of crazy and start doing that mid to end game stuff. But yeah, this game is long, which is not a complaint, because I love when the main story is long and engaging and has a ton of content, especially when it's an incredible game that I've come to love over the years, which is Octopath as a series, both 1, 2, and now 0. But yeah, I was kind of worried initially about how they were going to handle the job system, because I really loved the job system in 2. 2 is still definitely my favorite. I like how you could just kind of morph everybody into a bunch of different things, but this one is cool too. the way they kind of basically allow you to transfer some of the skills, and once you master them, so you can kind of create the version, the best version of each character that you want, when you decide your final team. So yeah, it definitely doesn't feel overwhelming or anything with all the characters you can get. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a ton of fun. I'm just trying to push through so you can get that first completion of the year. As everybody's pushing some of the shorter games to the first completions of the year. I just don't have one of those right now that I'm working on.
We
It's
are
really,
waiting
really
for the
that.
big game.
Yeah. So we'll get there. But yeah, like I said, we'll jump into our first topic here. Most people saw it or infamously heard about how bad it was. The New Game Plus showcase happened earlier this week. It was just shy of 4 hours long.
Yeah, don't diminish it.
Huh? I said just shy of 4 hours. What are you talking about? It was 3
Oh,
hours and
okay, it has
52
gigabytes,
minutes.
My bad.
No, I
My
said
bad.
4 hours. So yeah, it was just shy of 4 hours. Yeah, uh, it was interesting. It was definitely their first run. I get what they wanted to do with the showcase, trying to create, like, I guess what they thought was like a genuine camaraderie and friends, kind of discussing their excitement for games. But it ended up throwing the pacing off a lot, and they had way too many games for the specific format that they chose, which is why it ended up being almost 4 hours long. I went in thinking maybe hour and a half, 2 hours at the craziest. That threw a lot of people off, and you could tell, a large part of the audience started dropping off around the 2 hour mark. I felt like the games they showed though were really good. I saw a lot of great stuff. I know they said they're not doing any world premieres or things of that nature, which I didn't expect. But I like some of the interviews that happened, hearing directly from the developers and them explaining some more intricacies and mechanics of some of their games. Blood of the Dawn Walker was one of the main ones that showed up, where they talked about some more mechanics and things going on in the world and kind of what their focus is. And like I said, they had quite a few titles that we were looking forward to. So let me just see what everybody thought, and then if you have multiple highlights or whatever, and then your game of the show, and we'll go from there. Morgan, we'll start with you, ma'am.
Yeah. Um, it was definitely an interesting showcase. Um, yeah, I think the one of the main issues was they definitely didn't preface that it was going to be 4 hours. I don't even remember them discussing or saying how long it was going to be.
Yeah, they didn't.
Um, so I think the 4 hours of a show kind of threw people off. People, it had people at around the 1 and 2 hour mark, like, so how much more is there? How long this is going to be? That's why you have people dipping in and out, because they don't really know what to expect. That's why you should give a time frame for how long you having an event, so people know what to expect, and they're not just sitting there like, is there more?
Agreed.
Also, another issue was way too many cooks in the kitchen, way too many hosts. Especially when you have hosts that are usually on their own podcasts with just them, right? There's no other people. It's just, them talking to their chat live or whatever. It's kind of hard to get those type of people to come together and discuss games without everybody trying to talk over each other. They're all type A personalities. They all have their own strong opinions of games. And so they're all trying to give the opinion at the same time and fighting over each other. Not that they were necessarily, fighting or anything like that. It was just everybody who just wanted to chime in at the same time. And it's just like, you got 6 different people wanting to give, 6 opinions on a game. If that's why it's going to take forever. And I was listening to Luke Stevens' live podcast the day after. And if
Hmm.
you don't know who Luke Stevens is, that's the one with the glasses that was sitting next to the girl. And I've been following him for a while. I'm subscribed to his channel. I like him as a YouTuber and a podcaster. I like his takes. But he was, explaining and giving feedback on, everybody else's feedback of the show. And according to him, as far as the talking bits between the games, the idea was that that section of them talking about the games after they showed them was only supposed to be 30 seconds to 45 seconds, right?
Oh wow.
They were going to show 4 games and then speak for like 30, 40 seconds and then go back to the games. But he said, upon doing it, they realized that with that many people and they all wanted to give their
Exactly.
opinion, that wasn't gonna happen, right? But they said that they've listened to the feedback, they've heard the feedback, and they said they pretty much knew what the feedback was gonna be before they heard other people. So I guess, they knew what the issues were. And next year or the next time they do this, it's gonna be much more refined, a lot better. Like they know where the problem areas are, and they're going to address that next year. Now, whether or not they do and whether or not they're implemented, I guess that's for us to see further down the line. But he does say that he understands what the issues are. Um, and the issues that presented were not supposed to be there, right? Like I said, they were only supposed to be discussing games for like a minute at most and then moving on. But with, like I said, with all those personalities being there, everybody wanted to say what they wanted to say. And so it just got drawn out, which is why that show ended up being 4 hours long. So
Yeah,
that was his
I
explanation.
also think they need to address the chemistry going forward, because honestly, I think that was part of the problem. It's not just all of them talking, like you were saying. I just think the chemistry was off with some of them, and that's what also kind of made it awkward and take longer. Because like you were saying, kind of how they didn't kind of know when to talk, and everybody wanted to go, like all the
Yeah,
time.
everybody wanted to go. They some tried to interrupt others, trying to jump in, like trying to get those last few words in. It's just like, and apparently, because I was, I did watch it live. I just didn't watch it in the Discord. But,
Hmm.
at the beginning, when they were introducing all the podcasters, there was supposed to be another one there too.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah,
supposed to be like 6 or 7 or however many they have. There's supposed to be another person up on that stage or whatever. But he was gone because, his wife just gave birth. So he was with his child or whatever. So there was going to be another voice that was going to be fighting to speak during this gaming showcase. But yeah, he did say that they were considering doing something more along the lines of like in the Xbox Direct, where it's just, they speak to the developers or they interview the developers at their studio, they show the games, the developers do all the talking and the explaining and the gameplay and everything. And then at the end, if people want to stay and listen to their opinions of the games, right? And give like, some extra information about the games, then that'll be at the end of the showcase, right? Well,
yeah,
how Xbox does that thing where they do the direct and they do like the behind the scenes or whatever, where they give the extra information and the deep dives and shit.
yeah,
That is what he said that they were looking to do the next time. And I said, yeah, that's a much better
yeah. That's
format.
much
So
better.
people who want that information, who want to hear you guys' opinions on certain games, or if you have extra information about the game, behind the scenes stuff, then yeah, they can stay for that extra hour or two at the end. But yeah, so they're looking at all the different possibilities for what to do with the showcase going forward. So they did hear everybody's feedback and they're, you know, implementing it supposedly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
as
just
far as the current,
I was gonna say
but
it just felt too and obviously I know that's not their intention, right? But
yeah,
it felt, a lot of people felt like it was too focused on them and
yeah,
their talking points and kind of trying to make them the center of attention, which kind of goes
yeah.
to what you were saying about them all being A personality types.
I mean, it,
So
it kind of it kind of shows what I say all the time, where people like, they like to shit on Jeff Keighley showcases and anything like that. But I'm like, once you have to take on the task yourself, it's not as easy as you might think, right? You think, oh, just do this and have this vision here. And it just, when you actually put it together,
Yeah.
it doesn't always turn out as, how you think, right? Because that's what he said. We had a vision specifically. We were going to do 45 seconds and then it turned into completely something else, right?
Yeah.
So, that's why I give credit to Jeff. He puts a lot of work into that shit. Like, yeah, it could get boring at sometimes, but, at least the pacing is there, you know? Um, and it's not just him talking the entire time,
Agreed.
So, yeah, but as far as like the quality of games, I do enjoy the actual content of the show. I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
agree.
good. We got to see, and I think that was one of what Lucas was talking about was one of their biggest intentions of the show was to kind of highlight games that don't really get highlighted. Because when it comes to shows like the Game of the Year showcase and other big showcases, they really only focus on like AAA. Like, sure, there'll be an indie in here now and again, but obviously people come for like the big Hollywood blockbuster bangers, right? That's why they get the numbers. That's why people show up, right? So their goal was they wanted to highlight, all of the spectrum of different games. And I think they did a good job with that. And I think it's cool that they were able to get a lot of developers to come onto the show,
Yeah,
especially
they
for
got a
them
they got a
having
lot.
their first show. Yeah. I think that, I mean, I like, I know I said a lot of negative things about it, but I wanted to give them some kudos because, being able to get that many developers to kind of give you a behind the scenes and, they like the fact that they were the ones who got the announcement of like the PS port for Avowed and shit. Like, I thought that was cool. Like the fact that Obsidian saved that for their showcase. Like, I don't particularly like Avowed, but I think that's like kind of a big get on a first time show, right? Um, and they had a lot of new games, like as far as like little the double A side game announcements there too. So I like what they're trying to do. They're trying to highlight the smaller studios that don't have that $1 million to put their games on a Jeff Keighley screen. And they did get a considerable amount of views, and IGN and everything like that retweeted a lot of the trailers and stuff. So they've gotten a lot of traction, and a lot of these smaller games have gotten a lot of spotlight put on them because of the show. So I think I want to give them their kudos for that. That's awesome that they're highlighting these smaller games, and there were a lot of cool smaller games that I saw there. I can't remember. It was that the one particular highlight that I have was that what was that Ex Machina, or that's the name of a movie, but it's like the Ex Machina or the cowboy game where it looks kind of like a cowboy cyberpunk mixed with like Fallout and
yeah, I know what you're talking
like
about, like X
Judge
Killer or something
Dredd
like
a
that.
little bit. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, X Killer. I think that's what it's called. Something like that. That looked really cool. Right now, I think they're aiming for a PC release on Steam, but supposedly they're looking to come to consoles later. So that'll be a cool game to play. I do like the concept of it. It's like I said, a cyberpunk in the desert style game. So
Name of it is X Killer.
X Killer. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that looked really cool. We did see a couple other like it's giving me it as cool as this show was and the good games they show. It's so hard for me to remember everything because there was just so much talking in between, and there was this big gap of just nothing of them talking. So I'm trying to remember everything that was kind of shown at the show.
I'll make it easy. I'll just put that in the chat so you can see it.
Okay, they did have that game from the Don't Nod studio, the studio that made Life is Strange, the that space simulator game. I can't recall what the hell the name of that game is either. But that
are you talking about Alphion? Or
yes, thank you.
Aphelion. Sorry, I don't want to destroy the name.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
That looked good. And the main thing they talked about with that game in the show was the music. They were speaking about the really cool instruments they were using and the kind of feel that they were trying to capture. for the game, like the emptiness and vastness of space and like that cold feeling, because I guess a lot of the game will be happening in like a cold, mountainous kind of planet. And he was talking about the cool the cool unique instruments that they were using. And I really like when, you know, I know a lot of people don't really like to hear about that kind of stuff and they're like, whatever, move on, I want to see gameplay. But I kind of like when, you know, devs are really passionate about music, because music is an important aspect of a game. Like whether you want to agree with that or not, you know, music can make or break a game, or it can elevate a game to the next level by how great the composition is. I mean, just look at Expedition 33. Like I listen to that music on the daily, you know, just like even without the game, I'm like that soundtrack is phenomenal, right?
Yeah, that and Dispatch as well.
Yeah, and yeah, of course, you know. But yeah, so that game looked really good to me. And then of course we got that extra kind of tidbit with Exodus. And you know, that's a game that I'm really looking forward to. It sucks that it's 2027, but hey, give them some extra time, because I think, you know, this game really has the potential to kind of take off, right? And fill that Mass Effect void that a lot of people have been feeling.
You meant the Expanse, right? Not Exodus.
Oh, the Expanse. Sorry, I don't know why I said Exodus. Yeah, thank you. The Expanse.
No problem.
But yeah, I like recently started listening to the audiobook for that, and I'm only on like I did the 2 short stories for it, the first intro short stories for it, and now I'm on like the official first book. But yeah, I'm interested to see, because I wanna get kind of the story behind it before, you know, I actually start the game, so I know what the hell everything is, like the lore behind it. So yeah, but it looks good. It looks like it's shaping up, and I like the fact that, you know, we get to pick the whatever creature we want to be, and like they have like, I guess, like different factions and things that we can start off in. So I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen with this game. Wishing that team did nothing but the best, because I really want that game to hit.
There's a TV show. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I know about the TV show. Yeah, but I want to see. The thing is, I want to read the books, then watch the TV show, and then play the game. Yeah, I'm weird like that. I don't know why I want to do it in that order.
I will say, by the time you get to book 6 or 7, you can already start watching the TV show, because it doesn't go past that point. So
yeah, like the TV show is only on like season 4 or 5, right? Or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's done as far as, so you can. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't go. It like gets to that point, and then like you'll already, by book 6 or 7, you'll basically be past where the show is. Yeah. Okay. So just so you know, you don't have to wait like till book 13 or whatever they're on now to watch the show, because then it'd be like way too far.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of anything else that I saw. I mean, I saw a lot of obviously we saw a lot of games that are already out that are getting like, you know,
I mean, it's really a lot. I know one you were interested in, at least as far as how it looks, because you love the art style. The Eternal Life of Goldman, the old guy,
I really, because we initially saw that at I think it was his Xbox Summer Showcase or something like that, or maybe it was just the Jeff Keighley Summer Showcase. I can't remember. But you know, it looks. I really like the art style of that, and the narration of like at least the initial trailer where it went kind of like lighthearted, and then all of a sudden the woman
went crazy,
like, immediately evil. She was just. I'm like, damn, was that an ex that did you wrong? She was just like, man, fuck this guy, and I was just like, oh shit, it turned dark. But I enjoyed that, but the gameplay itself, it's like platforming, and I'm not the biggest platformer fan, so I'm just like,
I feel you.
I gotta see. Like, hopefully, maybe they'll have like a demo or something, and I can try it out.
I played it.
Oh, you played it already? Oh, they must have a demo on Steam,
huh? No. It was a couple of years ago. We were in a gaming convention.
Oh, lucky. How'd you like it?
Well, the demo was kind of broken.
Oh, well. Damn. Not the greatest first impression.
I couldn't progress at a certain point. Like it kept restarting.
What did they say?
They were a bit evasive. I guess that wasn't the intention, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really, really early on when they tried it
Yeah.
at that convention, though.
I mean, yeah,
they'll probably have
it was
another
like
one.
a couple of years ago, so and it's still not out yet. So yeah,
Okay.
they're probably fixed it by now.
Yeah, they'll probably have another one too, at least for Steam, so you could try it out again. Tell me how you like it. But yeah, like I really love everything about it except the fact that it's mainly platforming. And it looks hard too. Like it looks like there's gonna be points where I'm gonna be like raging, like I'm not gonna be able to get past a certain boss or something.
Don't let yourself be
Oh, man.
negatively influenced by a resident platform hater here.
Yeah, I'll try it out. Like, hey, there's nothing wrong with trying it out, but we'll see. I do like I said, I do love everything else about it though. And that is coming out this year, right? 2026.
It's supposed to
I
be
don't
coming out
think
this
they gave
year.
Okay, yeah, I don't think they gave like a definitive date, but I know it's this year. But yeah, but as far as like a rating for the showcase, ooh, I'm
I
gonna
know
give it like
it's tough because it's
hard,
like
'cause, like,
the
the content
the
is
content was great. It's just
But
the talking was cringe.
yeah, the actual follow through was just oof. I guess it means I'll just give it like a 5.
I was gonna say
give it
just
some
split
leeway.
it.
Yeah, just split down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, it's their first show, they're gonna have to iron out the kinks, and everything like that. So I can't be too harsh because if this was like their the 4th or 5th show and they were still doing this crap, then yeah, I'd be a lot harsher. But it's the first time, and I do like that they were able to get not just the trailers, but actually be able to interview the devs and get some new information for a lot of these games that we know about. So I'll give him some props for that. But yeah, I'll give him a 5, and with a hope that whenever they do this show, if it becomes like a yearly thing or something, that
Yeah.
they will absolutely improve and take a lot of the advice that a lot of the gamers have been giving them. Not the ones that have just been shitting on it to shit on it, but just the actual constructive criticism that people have been giving it.
Agreed. Weeb, how did you feel about the show? Some highlights and oh wait, I didn't get your game of the show, Morgan.
It was probably that crap. The one that oh my god. The one that Omar said the name of.
X Killer?
X Killer, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Weeb, how'd you feel about the show? Highlights and your game of the show.
Well, unlike Morgan, I'm not a fan of Lucky Poo,
Oh man.
as it used to be called in its plagiarism days. If you don't know, there's a very interesting video of H Bomber Guy about how he completely stole his review for Bloodborne, but yeah,
Oh,
guess
shit.
it was a different life. But yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. Like I appreciate what they're trying to do, but they really fumbled the ball in terms of the format. Like they were supposed to. I mean, they said like it was going to be a game showcase, and they were basically just doing a podcast. And yeah, like you said, like there were all these personalities that are used to doing their own podcast and just talk for hours, and now they're supposed to share the spotlight and basically not even take the spotlight because they're supposed to be about the games, and they're yeah, there was just way too much talking and really like inane talking. Like there was nothing really added to it. Like they were just sort of reiterating what we just saw and adding some sort of hollow commentary instead of okay guys, like tell me something interesting, tell me something I don't know. So yeah, that was kind of and it feels like half of the time was just them talking. So it was basically just a 2-hour podcast or showcase, and 2 hours was wasted with them talking about it. Yeah, 4 hours was way too long. I mean, like even like I didn't know it either. Like I was okay. Like for me, it was like 10 p.m. So it was okay. That's fine. Like and then it was like, dude, like it's only halfway through. Like I gotta work tomorrow. Like I can afford to just keep on watching them talking incessantly about what how they feel about the game or not. And yeah, I heard as well as criticism that people had a hard time figuring out what game they were talking about, which wasn't really. Yeah, they were just talking about 3 games that we've seen previously, and they were not really just moving around from game to game and not really taking the time to clearly explain. Okay, yeah, we're talking about this game now. Like either do it like sort of midway point or after or before, or or not at all. I mean, that's probably the best would be to do what other like the Future Game Show does. Maybe have to host with a bit of chemistry and just tie the trailers together rather than just keep on talking about your opinion. I mean, we've seen the trailer. Like we don't really need you to explain it again because we have eyes. I do appreciate again the effort. I do appreciate also the dev interviews, which were very enlightening. I definitely think with some games like the Expanse and the Dawn of the Daywalker definitely require some more depth insights because it's still like if you have like with the ex-Witcher devs attempt at making a non-Witcher game, you kind of wanna because they have this all sort of time limit mechanic. You kind of want to know, like what is it supposed to be? Is it like Persona? Does everything cost time, or is it more generous than that? So that's kind of things that you need. If you're doing something differently, you definitely need to take your time to explain that to people. So more depth interviews is definitely better in that regard. Same way, like with the Expanse game, like I mean, we kind of all thinking, okay, this is sort of like Mass Effect, but yeah, they could give it their own spin, or like I kind of like when that guy was talking about, it's not like you have sort of survival aspects, but it's without sort of the hassle. So like, okay, so you're basically just saying there are no survival mechanics, but because you're mentioning it, I'm like think, oh, does it have survival mechanics? So like, dude, like this is sort of where you should probably just not talk and just shut up. But yeah, I mean, again, like it helps that you at least take the time to explain the game if it's not clear, because that's kind of that can hurt you in the end if people are not entirely sure about the game, like especially with is a game like a Souls game or not. Like you kind of want to know that ahead of time, because you either like it or you don't, and you don't want to buy into something when you're not certain you're gonna like it. And that's when you if the gameplay itself doesn't speak for itself, if it isn't clear, like with that other game from Sony, or that Sony exclusive that's coming also this year. I forgot the title. That sort of where the developers are constantly saying, "Yo, it's not a Souls game," even though it looks like a Souls game. Like, yeah, you kind of need to reiterate that because it's not clear from the gameplay, and yeah, people will constantly will have a very short memory and will constantly forget that, and will get back to, oh yeah, it looks like quacks like a duck, so probably is a duck, right? But yeah, overall, like I if you ask me what I enjoyed most, obviously was the Expanse game. I'm really looking forward to that. It does look good, and from what I've seen before and I've seen now, it definitely I don't know if it's coming out this year. I hope so, but definitely something that is on my list as a huge fan of the franchise. And yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to play, as a obviously as a belter uh, in the Expanse universe. Um, as you say, the game of the show. I mean, that probably was the game of the show for me, but uh, something that I didn't know about before, Shadow of the Road looked quite interesting. That sort of isometric turn-based game where that's sort of a steampunk uh, take on historical Japan.
Yeah, yeah. I thought
Sort
that
of
looked. I thought that looked good too.
yeah, sort of Bioshock-like vibes, like that. Yeah, that looks interesting to me. That was definitely one that I didn't know about, and yeah, piqued my interest. Other than that, like yeah, they were mostly games that I either already heard about or yeah, not really my cup of tea. Um, so yeah, again, like it's a valiant effort, and I do hope that they take the feedback they got to heart and do better next time. Because yeah, sure, they definitely have something here that they could build upon and make better. Yeah, the only question is, yeah, will they be able to do something with that feedback and make it a better showcase next year? And that's certainly possible. I mean, there's plenty of examples. Even Jeff, has succeeded in turning around the Game Awards this last year as being a pretty good showcase compared to the year before, which was a disaster. So yeah, it's certainly possible to come back from something, especially if it's the first time when you didn't really met the goals you want to achieve and turn it around and make yeah something more enjoyable next time. So yeah.
Agreed. Um, Omar, uh, what did you think about the show? And then
Okay,
their highlights and your game of the show.
so I'm I'm mindfuck right now. I just shared it with you. You liked it, but you didn't share it with us. So basically, what I'm talking about is this showcase that was shy of 4 hours was literally turned to into 1 hour if you remove all the talking from the show. I thought it could be 2 hours or something like that, but just to to limit to become just 1 hour is crazy. I experienced it myself. Today I had to skip through the talking just to look up which games I'm excited about, which I'm gonna name quite a few. What uh, um, I hate you, Thrifty. What I'm interested in. Blind Descent basically think um, Journey of the Savage Planet, but without the humor and way more serious and graphic, way more demanding than like Journey of the Savage Planet. I I'm interested to see where that takes me. The Blood of Dawnwalker, this one, we got so much update on it, we got so much information for it. The gist of it is basically you're the bad guy is not actually an actual bad guy, like he have his own motives, and when he does something, he can hurt you. But when you do something, not only can you hurt him, but you hurt also the people. And there is uh, two type of gameplays. One is day, and one is night. At daylight, you don't have your power because you're not a vampire. You're close to half a vampire around that. At night you have your superpowers and you can do all stuff, which is I'm curious how they're gonna balance it. And the biggest one for me is the 30 days situation. And apparently, if you don't finish the game in 30 days, it's gonna have a lot of consequences. It's not gonna be game over, but just consequences. So this game feels like it's gonna have a lot of replayability if you're into that. Um, Project Shadow Glass. This game seems like to be in an early access. They have no idea what they want to do with it so far, but it is interesting to see it medieval pixelated first-person game where you are what they showcase was shooting with your bow and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna have a RPG mechanic. So I'm curious about Aphelion. This is literally Morgan game. Basically, you're two people in space and you're gonna do your stuff. Um, the extent the game I never watched the series, so I can talk about the game. Um, this one surprised me. Distance, distant shore, Bretagne, Bretagne. I hate this word. I have no idea how they came up with it. Basically, imagine Mirror Edge with technology and magnets. And what I love about this is that a lot of parkour, not per se parkour, but more like platforming and also a lot of making use of your magnet. You have magnet powers, you can control it. The game, just like Grass that I finished, think like that, but first person and on a bigger scale. So I'm super excited about that one because it also have combat. Um, yeah. Uh, Forsaken Helen basically just showed Outward 2 and Forsaken Helen 2 games that kind of look alike. And um, I don't know what the channel called. I think it's Sandbox. I'm not sure about that one. Action adventure. With RPG, with a lot of RPG elements. Dragon Twin, and this one, it felt like a tech demo. Like all we saw is
I mean,
Dragon
they
shooting
basically said that is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a proof of
So
concept.
yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna evolve it into an actual game, or if it just be a tech demo where you can also play it on, I think, um, Dragon and stuff like that. But it did look impressive. I'm not gonna discount its impressiveness. Um, this one, we can talk about it as killer. Um, the only part is the limited space. Other than that, I'm excited about it. Is this one Erosion Cowboy? Uh, we covered it before, but the more I see it, the more I will need it more. Right now, it's a roguelite. You're a cowboy. Apparently, some of your family member got kidnapped. I think by death. I'm not sure. And yeah, you're gonna do some roguelite stuff. But the fun
It's
part,
apparently. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. I don't mind.
No, I was just saying it's apparently like kind of similar to kind of Sifu. There's like an aging mechanic. Like the more you die, the older your daughter, who's the one that's kidnapped, becomes. So
So I did read it correctly. Yeah, apparently a decade, but that doesn't make any sense.
that means you got like 7 deaths, I guess. I don't know.
I didn't get.
I'm sure there's
So
gonna be people trying to
yeah, this
run it with no
this
deaths.
one, it's gonna be interesting to see how they combat it. But what my biggest issue with roguelite is uh, every single run that you win, for the most part, is luck based. What I mean is, you get one simple insane item and it's over. So I'm curious if we're gonna find a way to balance it where you need multiple items to create a good game out, run out of it. Um, so yeah, I'm super excited about it. I actually joined to see if I can join a demo for it. So I hope I get selected. Um, Dark Light Survivor. Basically, it reminds me of Vampire Slayer, but in third person with better graphics and a lot of killing, a lot of weaponry and skills. So I'm excited about that. Um, on Wake, it all I can tell you is you play with two swords and first person mode, and you have a lot of enemies to kill. Kind of gave me Doom vibe. Um, this one, me and Nate, we're on board. Den Densh attack. Basically, you're a boss. I'm not kidding. You're a boss, and um, you grinding on the rail, and you're doing tricks and everything in between. And it's basically a Jap. I'm not sure it's from Japan, but basically it's a Japanese game, and it's wild. It's funky, it's crazy, it's unique. I'm down with it. And Weep, you need to play it. It have mecha in it. So yeah. Um
It's not a new announcement.
it have
Update.
mecha, so you need to play it. Um this one, Weep. I am finally going to be able to demo the internal life of Goldman the Grandpa. Uh this one is written by hand. It's phenomenal looking. You play as an old grandpa that it does a lot of platforming. I watched we play it when we went last year to a showcase. I meant to an event, and I'm super excited about that one. It's getting a demo in February on Steam, I think. So yeah, Dusk Fade. I am so happily finally someone showcased it. This game have been on my Twitter feed for so long now. Basically, think Kingdom Hearts, but in indie style. Um, and I'm super excited about that. It's coming to every single console imaginable. I'm not sure about the Switch, but yeah. Um, I am so excited about that one, and I'm so happy that finally someone showcased it, because they were one of the people that shared how Jeff Keighley, you need to pay what 1 million. I forgot how much, insane amount just to get a 30-second or 1 minute clip on his show. So yeah, I shared retweeted their game because it's looking phenomenal.
And
This
the what
one,
game? What game was that?
Dusk Fade.
Oh, okay. So you were talking about the one that Thrifty was talking about.
Who?
Thrifty was talking about it in the chat, and I told him that you would
Oh,
probably be the one to mention that game.
okay. So yeah, no, I've known about that game for the longest, but this is the first time I've actually seen it what you call it, on the big screen. So I was happy about that. This one is interesting. Nippon Will Fall. I got the feeling that it's like XCOM, where you basically control a bunch of people and fighting a bunch of enemies. All I know is in Japan, and you're fighting enemies, and you're fighting yokai monsters, and it's turn-based. So sign me the fuck up.
Omar, that's not the title of the game.
Nippon Will Fall.
No, that was a
No?
slogan. It's Shadow of the Road.
Sorry, what is it?
Shadow of the Road. What I just mentioned.
Shadow of the Road. So weird. That's another complaint I have. Um,
You know the name of the game is on that thing that I linked in chat, right?
I already, this is what I wrote, is everything after I went and watched it, so I have no idea which one it is.
Gotcha.
And another thing, I'm gonna okay, so it's not me, gotcha. Another thing I hate about game developers in general, can you write your title screen normal, please? It took me. I think someone had to correct me for Radeon, what it's called. Like, is it so difficult to name your title screen something normal? Don't give it such a different graphic that you're like, what the fuck am I reading? Starfinder. I never played Starfinder. I don't know anything about it. Um, from what I've seen, it's a turn-based. Um, it seems like it can have a lot of RPG mechanics. And then we end up with one of the biggest, if not their biggest title, Black Desert. We got to know about how big the map is. We got to see the
It's
scale
it's
when he
Crimson, right?
was jumping. Yeah?
Isn't it Crimson Desert?
Sorry?
Isn't it Crimson Desert?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my bad. Black Desert is something else. Thank you, Crimson Desert. Um, we also saw that you can write multiple mounts. They didn't say anything about it, being able to write a dragon, so I have the feeling we are gonna able to do so.
They showed
So
footage of us riding a dragon.
sorry,
They've shown footage of us riding a dragon.
weird. When I was in the kitchen and I heard them talking about were you able to
She
use a
said
dragon
they've
to ride a
shown
dragon.
it, not that it was shown at this show.
No,
Okay.
you're talking about. She asked, "Are you able to slay the dragon?" And he said, we haven't answered that."
Oh, play the dragon. My bad, I had to write the dragon. Okay, that explains it then. Thank you for correcting me. But yeah, no. They end with the biggest blockbuster out there that arguably could be GOTY contender this year. So I can't wait for Black Desert, Crimson Desert. For some reason, I keep saying Black Desert. Black Desert is that MMO that they made. Crimson Desert is the new one. So yeah, all by all, with everything that I said, I will give the showcase a 5. Okay, look, a lot of bad. The talking, the format, how they showcase you 3 games, then you forget what you saw and they go back and they talk about it, and you're like, okay, which game you're talking about? But later I saw there is they put the name on the left side, right side below, I think, so you could see what they're talking about. At some point, so basically what felt like is, and I told you, Nate, um, it's a group of people that have not interact a lot with each other, came in to test something. They needed to do a lot of test rounds. It was a podcast in a gaming show format that doesn't work. And I'm not surprised that they got feedback. You, internet is relentless when it comes to stuff like this. When they love something, they're gonna let you know. When they hate something, they're gonna let you know. So yeah, I am absolutely certain they're gonna find a way to make it better next year. And Morgan said it, but genuinely proud to them, but also the developers that trusted them with the footage, with everything. And uh, yeah, we've been talking and asking for the longest for um someone to create something like this, but by gamers for gamers. You can't be any more of a gamer than playing. At least I saw her playing Dark Souls or Elder Ring with the dance mat. So that one is hardcore AF. Um, so yeah, I'm super excited to see uh, what the future is, and I legit give them props for even starting this, because the internet really crushed them with that one. Um, but yeah,
What was your
that's
game of
about
the
it.
show?
Oh, sorry.
Your game of the show.
Oh, ooh, oh, ah, oh, that's a difficult one. I didn't think about it. Okay, out of my head, for a new one, I would say that bus game. I'm excited about it.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah. As for me, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. It is a it's a 5 out of 10 for me. Um, give me 1 second.
Yeah, the synopsis for all of us seems to be that the content itself was good. It was just the formatting that needed to work. It needs tweaking. But I hope they take it, like we've all said, we hope they take it as constructive feedback. And I hope they do it again. Like I don't want them to not do it again. You know, it's a first attempt. So you just take what the community has said, apply it. Hopefully they figure out how they're gonna do the 6 people on a panel type thing. I don't know if they're gonna cut people or they're gonna do segmented, like 2 people cover like 30 minutes, another 2 people cover another 30 minutes or something. They got to figure out what to do with all these people they got. Because the format now is just not it. But
Yeah,
It,
they gotta
I
figure out
was
what they
telling you,
want to be. Do they want to be a gaming showcase or podcast? You know.
yeah, that's
exactly.
how it felt. It literally felt like they're doing a podcast, and they have a bunch of gameplay to showcase.
Yeah, I think they severely underestimated the amount of content they had to show, and all of them trying to talk. And I agree, Morgan. They are either gonna have to split it, kind of like the other show that we like. That honestly, I think has been our show every time they've shown it. I can't remember what it's called,
You
but
talking about
Future
the
game show?
PC game?
yeah, the future
Yeah,
game
yeah,
show.
future game show. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
future game show. So do it like that, where, like you said, even when they had multiples, they only always had 2 people on at any given time
Yeah.
frame. In the talking segment, whether they did some cheesy joke or whatever, it was always quick, and
Hmm.
they jump right into the next set of games. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of cadence and speed and the way they need to move if they're going to have this amount of games, because they had about the same amount of games as the future game showcase.
Yeah.
So
And they can
what
all
they
come
can
together at
do,
the end if they want, you know.
so
Exactly.
what they can do, in my opinion, they should start to 50, but I'm gonna say it differently. They should make 2 showcase out of it. One showcase is gonna have 3 members, and the other showcase is gonna have 3 other different members. And if this way you have everyone involved, and you're gonna be able to cover every single game that you wanna do without making it too long. So instead of 3 hours, 4 hours I meant, we get like 2 hours, which is a normal time frame we do, but our podcast is mostly all time 2 hours. So I do believe that's the best format, in my opinion. Just three
I don't know about
people.
splitting it up into 2 showcases though. I think that's kind
Yeah,
of weird.
I wouldn't. I would
But
not do
yeah,
that.
No, 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 no.
Thrifty.
What I meant with, first of all, Lost Heldon look phenomenal. Helden. So second of all, what I meant is different showcase talking about different games. So you can do at the beginning of the year showcase and at the end of the year a different showcase.
I
Something like
mean, they're
that.
not trying to do all that though. They're trying to just do one show.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's a
that one
lot.
show, it's not gonna work like that, especially if they're gonna need
I
to
mean,
cover
there's
so many
different
games.
ways you could do it, but I think like putting it together as showcase is a lot. Like I think trying to do 2 and then have content enough to do 2 is going to be a hard task, especially when you're not,
I mean,
Jeff Keighley.
they
Like it's
literally had a show. They literally had
yeah,
a lot of
but
content
yes,
for
they
now,
had a lot
right?
of content, but they can't hold it for the end of the year. Like if somebody gives them something at the beginning of the year and they're like, "Oh, well, our beginning of the year showcase is full," they can't just hold that content and hold it till the end of the year
Yeah,
because
okay, and that is
the
on that
people
end.
are they're gonna want their information out there and they're not gonna be
Yeah, I
like
get it.
it doesn't work like that. But
Yeah,
um yeah, Thrifty just said basically what me and Nate were talking about with the future, and Weeb said with the future gaming showcase, where it's just kind of like 2 people talking for each segment, and then you move on to the next segment and it's another 2 people talking, and then the next segment and another 2 people talking. That's how they do it because they have a bunch of different hosts that they kind of, filter through,
exactly.
and that's how they should do it. And then at the end, they can all come together in a panel and discuss like they did, in this game, which they should this showcase, which they shouldn't have done. They can come together as the panel and discuss at the end about, together
Exactly.
and talk about everything, right?
Basically, the
Just
way
similar to how
IGN
they
and all
use,
them do,
yeah,
when the shows are
they'll
over and then they have a
exactly.
panel. Yeah,
Yeah, IGN at the end of like the Game of the Year awards, they talk on their panel about the highlights that they saw. Like they can do that. And like I said, the Xbox Direct, they do the same thing where they have it at the end where they discuss all the games and give it more information and stuff like that for people who want to stay at the end. And that's kind of what he suggested that they were going to do. Like they're kind of looking into doing. So like I said, we'll have to see how that works. But yeah, I think that's a much better format. But they're getting their foot into it. They're trying to figure out what works best because not everything works for everybody. So you have to figure out the chemistry of the panel that you're working with and how it's going to work. And if the people that you're with are going to want to stay in it for like the long haul, if this is something they're interested in doing. So yeah,
agreed.
they have a lot of moving parts that they have to figure out. But it shows promise for an initial start, just because like what would have really made it worse would have been doing all this for 4 hours and then the content be terrible.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
this wasn't even worth it. Like why'd you do all this? You do all this talking and then you didn't even get anything good. Like, but they had really good content, so that they've got the trust of a lot of smaller developers, to handle their information. So keep that trust, and gain the trust, gain the notoriety, because they did get a lot of, like I said, retweets from like bigger sites like IGN and VGC and Kotaku and stuff like that. So maybe through the notoriety they'll be able to get even more exclusive, behind the scenes content from other developers who see, that they have eyes on their show, and it could get a lot better, hopefully. But yeah, I like what they're trying
One
to
thing,
do, and I hope it gets better.
one thing they didn't have was ads.
Yeah,
So
that was the goal. That was the goal. They said they wanted to cut through the BS that a lot of uh other shows have and just get straight to the games, but they kind of missed that with the with the talking.
Yeah,
But yeah, they didn't have any ads because they're not like sponsored like that. So
yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I think as far as the hosts go, I think they might need to visit who really has those hosting chops. I think some people said it best. You see the difference between someone who's a streamer and someone who has the ability to host, because I
yeah.
think it showed pretty well who was comfortable in that format and who wasn't. I think Also, when they do have that panel, they definitely need to have a desk or something in front of them, the way that IGN and all them normally do as well. Because a lot of them just look lost without a desk in front of them, considering literally every single person on that panel is typically behind a desk when they do their own content. So I think they also need to consider something like that if they do end up doing like the panel format at the end. Just because some people they just ain't got it when it comes to the hosting stuff, and we've talked about that. It's not just them, right? We talked about that with Jeff Keighley's show when he has tried to choose other people besides old girl that hosted that last time. It's very obvious when someone's not used to hosting, so I think that makes a big difference. But yeah, as far as like you said, the content, I 100% agree with you. The content was great. It was on point. They did a good job picking a lot of the games. I was interested in pretty much most of what they showed, which says a lot about the content that they picked, which, you know, they did say that they went out and picked that content. It is kind of funny that I could kind of tell who picked what, though. So I did kind of laugh about that because Jake, in particular, I know is more of a multiplayer type of content creator and, you know, kind of follows what's going on in that kind of realm. So I could definitely tell the games that he picked. But yeah, The Expanse is definitely The Expanse Osiris Reborn is definitely my game of the show. I mean, it's an easy pickup, but I felt like they did a good job, even with some stuff that I've seen or even played. Like I felt like the segment with the Towerborn development showed a lot of what they've been working on, a lot of the feedback and stuff that they've taken to heart, and really fleshed out some of their more build and RPG like mechanics towards the game. So yeah, they did a really good job just really getting the developers to speak and go over some of the more intricate details of some of these games that are up and coming. So yeah, I think they just did a great job as far as that goes. I agree though, overall, because of the segments with the talking and it being way too long, it's 5 out of 10 for me. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good considering it's their first run, and we'll see where they go from there. But yeah, as for our next thing here, the Xbox Direct, Developer Direct was confirmed for January 22nd. It does show that Playground Games is obviously going to be there as the mainstay, with Fable and Forza Horizon 6 finally ready to be shown off, and really kind of get that first look, and potentially, you know, deep dive into some of the gameplay of both of their upcoming titles. They did also show that Game Freak is also going to be highlighted there. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to obviously see all of those games. Everybody kind of saw what Game Freak could do, you know, at least in that reveal trailer for, you know, for that title. Finally getting to see, you know, like, hey, it's not us, you know, when it comes to where Pokemon is. Like, we can make some crazy looking games. We can do something different. So I'm excited to see what they show with that as well. But yeah, what are you guys looking forward to? What are you hoping to see as far as the Developer Direct? Obviously, knowing that we're also going to see some potential third-party stuff, and we know who's kind of been aligned with them so far and what we potentially could see. So yeah, again, I'll just go ahead and bring it right back around the way we did before. So Morgan, what are you hoping to see from the Developer Direct?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that this year they really only decided to show 3. As far as like the initial announcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
They usually do like 3 and then hey, we got like a mystery, or they show 4 and then we have an extra mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it kind of weird, especially in a year where Xbox has a lot of
A
games,
lot.
right? That they only showed 3 for this announcement. Maybe, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be like a bonus game at the end because there always is. But, you know, I was thinking this was going to having even more this year than
Yeah, this
previous
honestly
years,
should have been the
right?
blowout. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were going to show like announce like 5 and then have a mystery game, right? or like show the 5 that they were going to talk about, and then have then we have one more thing. So yeah, I find it very interesting. I don't know what to think about that. Hopefully it's more than just 4. Hopefully we get more. But I am happy to see Fables here. That was always a question mark that people had, especially for
It has been for
2026.
too long.
Yeah, we didn't know whether or not it was going to make 2026. Just because a lot from what we've heard from behind the scenes is that there's a lot going on with when it comes to Playground with Fable. Especially since this is their first RPG. Playground Studios is known for the Forza IP, and this is their first time doing something outside of that, with Fable taking on a third-person action adventure. Kind of reminds me of Guerrilla after Killzone taking on Horizon. We'll see if they're good at it. I mean, as far as like the trailers and the little snippets of gameplay that we've seen, it looks promising, right? And I think Fable is one of those games that has the potential to finally like be that that game of the gen for Xbox if they hit all the marks right.
Yep.
They've had a lot of games. Quantity cannot be taken away from Xbox, right? They've published and developed a lot of games, right? The quality though has been kind of like, it hasn't been terrible, but I think it's just been good. It's been good enough, right?
Yeah.
But nothing that's kind of broken the zeitgeist and kind of propelled Xbox to legendary status. I guess that game was supposed to be Starfield, but Starfield kind of was just it was good, but it didn't really hit like they wanted it to. But I think Fable has that type of potential, but it's really going to just depend on the writing and the gameplay for this game. But I'm excited to see, because that's the thing we haven't really seen from Fable so far. We haven't gotten a deep dive into the gameplay, or not even necessarily deep dive, just like a long look, like 30-second clip of gameplay, right? All the gameplay that we've seen from Fable have been little clips in trailers here and there, like, oh, don't blink or you're gonna miss that little 2 seconds of gameplay that they showed, right?
Exactly.
Like, we saw more gameplay from Perfect Dark, the game that they canceled, than we have of Fable, right?
That was just like so yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, but it was still like a look
Yeah, I
into
get
the
it, I
gameplay,
get
which
it.
is what
Yeah.
we haven't seen from Fable. So I'm excited just so we can see that gameplay, right? But yeah, and the real question will be, is this going to be like a day and date title for PlayStation, or is it going to be time exclusive for Xbox for a little while and then come to PlayStation? Apparently the
Word on
cards
the
are look.
street is it is. Might
You
see
said
day
what?
and date. Word on the street is saying it's day and date, so you will see.
I mean, yeah, word on the street always says something, but you never really know. People
Yeah,
say
you
they
never
always got
really
the
know. Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
So it is what it is. Like, regardless, I'm gonna be playing it, so I'm happy either way. I just hope that this game is everything that I want for it. My brother is a huge fan of Fable, so when I sent him the message that they were having the gameplay showcase for it, and he flipped out because he was like, initially, when they showed it back in 2020, my God, it's been so long since they initially showed Fable. He was freaking out because he had the PS5, but he didn't. Back then it was exclusive to Xbox, so he was just like, "Oh, dang, I'm gonna have to like borrow my sister's Series S or something so I could play it." But then, with the whole situation of Xbox becoming multi-platform, and I told him like, "Yeah, all the games are coming to PlayStation now." He was like, "Oh, hell yes." He said, "I could play it on PlayStation." Good. I was just like, "Yeah." So it's gonna be interesting. They said they gave us a little bit of information saying that the core of what makes Fable is still there. Like the good and evil kind of situation going on. So I was like, and that was a question a lot of people had because they never really went into depth about like, is this still going to be the Fable that we know? And they finally answered the question. Was like, yes. So it's good. It's good to hear that that's still a thing. But the other game, Forza, like Forza's finally going to Japan. I think that is another IP along with Assassin's Creed that everybody wanted to be in Japan. and that people were like, why isn't this in Japan? Because this is, you know, Japan is known for like, you know, its racing culture, right? With drifting and everything like that, you know, and the
Exactly.
popularity of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. People were like,
Especially
why the
street
hell?
racing.
Yeah, they were like, why don't we have a Forza that's in Japan? And you know, the fans been begging for it, and they finally did it. So, you know, I'm not a Forza fan, but I'm happy for Forza fans because this is, like I said, this is a location that they've been asking for a long time, and I understand the pain of wanting your a franchise that you like to take place in a certain location or do certain things, and then they finally do it, and you're like, yes. So yeah, I'm happy I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like because I'm sure, like, again, this is another Playground Games title, and you know, like I said, I don't like Forza, but I can respect the you know, the talent that they have over there because the games always look phenomenal, right? And I think it's gonna. I can't imagine how they're gonna look. You know how Japan's gonna look on the Forza engine. I'm sure it's gonna look crazy. I'm sure they're gonna have you over there jumping Mount Fuji or something like with the with the you know the cherry blossoms fall in the background and shit. Like I'm sure it's gonna be very interesting to see. So I'm excited to see it regardless. Um and then yeah, so the other one with what's the team that you said, the one that works on Pokemon? Um yeah, they're
Game
doing their
Freak.
game. Yeah, Game Freak, thank you. Um so I think that's the third party game that they're showcasing, Game Freak's game. It's interesting to see Game Freak outside of Pokemon because it's clear that they're talented as a studio. It's just I don't know what's going on, particularly with Pokemon. I don't know if it's Nintendo being cheap and like not wanting to fund it, or if it's no wait it's well, since Pokemon, the Pokemon company owns the Pokemon IP, not Nintendo. But I don't know if it's like the Pokemon company being cheap and not wanting to fund the game, or if it's just like they're like, hey, it is what it is. People buy it anyway. So, you know, we work with bare minimum, but we get great sales. So who cares type of situation.
Exactly.
Sad to see, but you know, it's good to know that it's not Game Freak's fault, right? They clearly know how to make a good looking game, but it's just something about Pokemon that like inhibits their ability to create anything profound with that IP. But the game that the RPG that they're making looks really good. So I can't wait to see what happens with this. I'm excited to see more because we initially saw what I think at the summer showcase. I don't remember where we saw that. I think it was like early 2025 that we saw this game. But
I think it was
yeah, it looked
I
good
think it
then.
was Xbox's Japan, like TGS or whatever. I think they showed it
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can never remember so many damn showcases in a year. Um, but yeah, it looked good then, and I'm excited to see more about it. So, um, I think, you know, the real takeaway from this whole situation is that an Xbox showcase is everybody's showcase now because there's just their games are everywhere. So it's like everybody's looking forward to an Xbox showcase because I guess everybody eats. So
Yep.
you know, I'm excited to see what other surprise game that they'll like. I pray to God that it's not Call of Duty again because them having the last thing be Call of Duty pissed me off so fucking bad last year. It pissed everybody off. Because people remember we were debating about what it
Yeah, we were
was
like,
because
"What
I
is
think
this? Oh man, what is
Yeah.
that?"
Control. It's
Yeah.
Control.
What you call it? I said, what did I say?
Yeah, it's Control. It's like, no, it's fucking
Control 2,
COD, bro.
Control
It's
2.
fucking COD. That
Yeah,
shit pissed me off so damn bad.
this is why I said, like, God, no, they're so terrible, so they try to be something that they're not.
Yeah,
Just
and
to
then
deceive
ended
the
up being one
people.
of the worst CODs ever. So I mean, I think that was that tracks for it. It was deserved for it to be terrible because why would you blue balls people with that? But yeah, I think this year now that they have like a, you know, this is their Xbox's 25th anniversary, right? And so I think they're gonna have another type of surprise. Like I know a lot of people want the surprise to be Banjo Kazooie, but apparently they're like, nah, we're not doing that. So um
Where
that
did that come
poor
from?
people have been asking for the surprise game. I've seen a lot of people ask for they want the
Yeah,
surprise
a lot of
game,
people thought
the
that was coming.
banjo.
I think that might be from what you call it, Double Fine.
I don't know if Double Fine's gonna do that, but I'm just saying. Apparently, like, what's his face, Matt Booty was just like, y'all should really chill out with that because apparently they're not really doing much with Banjo Kazooie.
Matt
But
is the heartbreaker, I see.
and
Rightfully
I
so,
would
because
like
don't
to
nobody
see.
want that bullshit.
Oh man, I do feel like it's one of those IPs that people beg for, but really nobody's gonna play. Like it's just one of those that people like to just,
Exactly.
cry about, and then when it actually shows up, nobody supports it.
Yep.
Just to say that they have a Banjo Kazooie game.
I mean, there already is a Banjo Kazooie game, Dreams.
Oh yeah, and Dreams. Ain't that something though? It's exclusive to PlayStation. That's the crazy thing. But yeah, I really would like for that last game to be State of Decay 3. That surprise game. That's just me though. Like I have been so worried about the development of this game because we really haven't heard much, and the fact is, like, when Microsoft or Xbox gets quiet, that's when I start worrying. Like when they don't talk about a game much and they don't really say anything, and when people ask questions and they're just like, huh, that's when I start worrying a little bit because I'm like, what's going on with State of Decay? Is it even coming out this year? Because if it don't come out this year, I'm really questioning whether or not this is actually going to, you know, even come out at all. Like I think it's definitely one of those games that I think is on the chopping block, especially if they don't hit with this game. That I feel like that studio is just, they've had so many chances, and every time they've released the game, it's like, at least at launch, they've been in a terrible state. So I feel like 3 is their last chance to get it right.
I can see
Um,
State of Decay 3 getting what you call it, a
yeah, I mean,
PlayStation port.
that's not what I'm worried about. All these games getting PlayStation ports. My thing is it going to get canceled? I like the PlayStation port isn't anything I'm worried about. I'm worried about is the game going to come out?
Right.
But yeah, I would like for that to be the mystery game, but I think that again, that's just me. But I wouldn't mind if Clockwork Revolution was the last game they showed too.
Yeah, that's looking
That's a game that
real good.
That's looking so good. But I have a feeling that Clockwork Revolution is going to be a game they kind of push to 2027. Like I said, they have a stacked year this year. With Gears, Halo, Fable, Forza, bunch of other crap that they got coming out. Like it's just a lot of games, and then of course you got GTA at the end of the year. So it's like, where are you gonna put all these games? You have to space them out. Like I know people will be like, no, they don't. I'm like, y'all, I understand that Game Pass is a thing on Xbox and PC and everything, but they also want to sell these games. And people have a finite amount of money and also a finite amount of time. And so people will make decisions based on their money and time and be like, okay, well, GTA is coming out and Clockwork Revolution. I like, they're both going to be $70 or maybe $80 because who knows how the pricing is going to change this year. And then I only got time for one game, and they'll make a decision. I know people think you don't really need that. You can just push games all out, but that, like, these companies want to make money, so they don't do that. They space things out, like, for a reason. That's why the Housemarque game got delayed. They realized it was right next to Crimson Desert. Yeah, they realized it was right next to Crimson Desert, which I pointed out. I was like, why? Oh my God, Omar! Omar, it's like, you didn't see that when they initially delayed it for like a month or two?
No, I thought it was still behind the good. I'm cool. Yeah, good. That's good. I'm fine. I'm happy with the delay.
So, yeah, it was initially supposed to come out in like February or whatever, and then they like delayed it to like March or some shit like that. Because like I said, I was like, why is it right next to Crimson Desert? That's stupid.
Yeah,
But I feel like they finally realized it. Somebody finally woke up and realized that they needed to space those things out. So yeah, these publishers are not gonna just cram all the games they can, right next to each other. Especially, like I said, with GTA, you got to give that like a clear month leeway. Like you got to you got to like stay the hell away as far as you can away from that, because like I said, people are going to be saving up for that, especially if it does hit the mark of November. People are going to be using that as their Christmas game, their Black Friday type of game, like the game that they save up for the holiday for, especially if they have to buy a next gen system. If they don't already have a PS5 or a series console, they have to save up for that too. So it's just there's a lot of factors with 2026. 2026 is going to be a great year. But yeah, people have a finite amount of money. But I'm excited for the direct though. I'm excited. It's what, January 22nd or 29th? I can't remember. But I hope that this is a big one where we get more than just the 3 that they're talking about. I hope we get like 5, maybe 6. Like that would be good. But
Wow,
that's just me being
greedy.
greedy.
I do.
Yeah.
No, I think we will get that. I mean, they've definitely done it before where they've highlighted only like 2 or 3, and then it ends up being like a full-on showcase with like 5 or 6. So, I mean, they've definitely done that before. So, I'm hoping that will be the same as well. And yeah, I agree with you. State of Decay definitely needs to be that game. And if it's not State of Decay, then based on their history and how they kind of move, it definitely. I think they want it to be a Shadow Drop title, because that's the other thing people have come to expect from them. Constantly, I'm seeing that all over the place where people thinking they're going to Shadow Drop something. So it'll be interesting to see what it is. But yeah, I agree. State of Decay needs to be shown about as extensively as Fable at this point, at least with some form of like realistic looking gameplay, because I know they stated what we saw before was gameplay just without the HUD and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I hate those, but see, when you have to explain to people that you showed gameplay, that means it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
That's
if you look back
something-
at that trailer and you go to the 13-second mark and you don't blink to the 14, you can see that was gameplay.
That
I'm
was
like, bro,
gameplay.
no, I want to see actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I know they don't really have to do everything for the direct because they're obviously going to have Xbox now has a summer showcase as well.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
for
they're
sure.
gonna- for this, their direct is for the first half of the year, and then the summer showcase is like usually for the later half, and then obviously a little bit into next year as well. So even
Yeah,
if
they
don't
also
show
do
they're-
Gamescom. They do a lot.
yeah. So if they don't show it there, I'm sure there's still a possibility they could show it later, and maybe it'll make the cut. I hope it does, but
Yeah.
who
I just feel
knows?
like they want to get rid of the question mark is what I feel like. Just show enough to get rid of the question mark. Like, because a lot of people are like, what is going on? This team has said absolutely nothing since we last seen it. So I think just get rid of the show enough to get rid of the question mark. They'd be like, we'll see you at Gamescom. Cool, I'm good to go.
Yeah, because they even like the team hasn't even said anything. So
Literally zero. So yeah. No, I agree. Weeb, what are you looking forward to at the showcase? What are you hoping to see? Are you excited for it?
Not particularly excited for it. I mean, yeah, I want to see more Fable, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Shadow Drop. I mean, Surprise. Yeah, I hope they're gonna show a trailer of Wolfenstein 3 because now that we know it's in development, I want to see it.
oh, that would be a great one. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And it could. I mean, it would not surprise me if it releases this year because they've done that.
Yeah.
They usually announce something and it's not that far, until the release date.
hmm I
So,
think
yeah.
Xbox doesn't want to do the mishap that they did with Fallout, where they kind of missed the opportunity to have a new game alongside of a hit TV show. And we know Wolfenstein's getting that new TV show very soon. So I think they would want to have, a
But-
new game.
But
you know.
I mean, you could also release the game and then release the DLC when the
True. The
Yeah.
DLC with some of the references from the show.
Yep.
Man, what a time
Yeah.
to release a Wolfenstein show, though. the way
I don't know,
America's
representation.
Like for real, the way America's acting right now, good God.
Oh, you don't want to talk about that.
Oh
Because that
man.
shit is demoralizing.
Yeah, it's I mean the problem is there's too many similarities. Is the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. No, were that it for you, Weep? You're excited for that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
no problem. Omar, what about you? Are you excited for the direct? And what do you want to see?
No, first of all, no. Why would I be excited for a Rakama
He said, first
PlayStation
of all,
5?
no.
I am so surprised every single one new have caved all of a sudden because Xbox is putting the game on PlayStation. Like, they're still in competition, dude. We want PlayStation game. We don't care about Xbox game. Okay, now for the real conversation. I'm so excited. We're gonna see Game Freak new game. It's been a long time coming. We're gonna see what Game Freak is gonna be able to pull without the handcuff of Nintendo. I say Nintendo because I truly feel this is the Nintendo thing and not Game Freak thing. Because if Nintendo wanted to control Game Freak, they could, or the Pokemon company, they would be able to do so. In my opinion. But yeah, going back to it, we know it's a Souls game. So as a Souls fan myself, I'm so excited about that. We already saw a glimpse of it. Now I want to see full-blown gameplay. Number one. Number two, which would have been my number one, is Fable. I am so ready to see Fable. We're gonna talk about how the development wasn't doing well and stuff like that. We kept hearing delays, reboot, you name it, happened. So are we gonna finally get to see the reveal of Fable in its full glory? I can't wait. Yes, they showcased a little bit of snippet of gameplay, but Morgan said that if you need to say this is gameplay and try to defend that is gameplay, that way you lose me. I will always go to Hellblade 2 when they showcased that gameplay. People were literally defining it with tooth and nail, even though that shit was atrocious. So yeah. I need to see gameplay from Fable, the difference between good versus evil. Show us what are we expecting to get. I can't wait for that one. Another one is the surprise. I I actually wanted to say I want for it to be State of Decay 3 because I want for State of Decay to finally get a release date because God knows uh, Microsoft been super quiet about that one. So let's hope it gets a release date. Another thing is I am excited to see how many surprises they're gonna have. For the most part, uh, um, Xbox showcases for the most part are always good. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna bring to the table. And yeah, I'm
Are
gonna
you
be
are
one
you
happy
sword
camper.
fighting while you're talking?
Yeah, I thought that was me.
Yeah,
I was like, is there something going on in the
That
background with
is
me?
Omar.
yeah, that one's on my end. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I am super excited about the showcase. And I want to PlayStation to step up their game. I'm always gonna say that when Xbox give me a showcase, I want PlayStation to do give me one too. I like just because Xbox putting the games on PlayStation does not mean I don't want PlayStation to stop being in competition with Xbox and vice versa. So yeah, Xbox, bring us your A game. And Morgan said it, and I truly feel Fable could be their magnum opus. Because God knows Xbox needs a magnum opus this generation. Uh, so far, nothing have worked. They put all their money into Starfield, Avowed, even Halo Infinite. Nothing worked. So who knows? Fable is gonna be the next big thing, and they're gonna finally have a Game of the Year contender on their hand.
Well, they hope so.
Hey, I hope so for them, cause they need it. But we pretty sure gonna see something Fable related, because they teased it on the Xbox Twitter app or the official Fable account. So yeah, I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming.
No, I agree. Um, yeah, as for me, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Fable. I mean, I've played, Fable originally, back in the day. Had a lot of fun with it. I'm always been a fan of the good and evil system and all that other stuff in place. And honestly, this game has looked good from day one. So as long as it's still looking as good as it started, and we can officially get some deep dive gameplay, I'm all for it. And then of course, I'm a huge Forza Horizon fan. Um, I've got like 300 hours in Forza Horizon 5 and like 700 plus vehicles. So yeah, I mean, I love those games. And listening to what I kind of heard from one of the devs was that Forza Horizon 5, basically, if you thought that was amazing, its development was hampered pretty significantly by COVID, according to him. So he was saying like now they're not running into those issues, and that 6 is gonna be like the next step up. So I'm super excited for that, and I know as big as the game is, gives them more opportunities to work with, even more special developers, as far as like people who do body kits and stuff for a lot of the vehicles, and allows them to get more official support for the game. Make sure they can get any and every car developer concepts and stuff like that. So I'm super excited for that. I have purchased day one the $100 edition of Forza Horizon 4 and 5, and I'm pretty sure Forza Horizon 6 is going to be the same thing. I don't play when it comes to Forza Horizon. I like to have the VIP package, get all the stuff. I don't want to miss anything. So I'm really excited to see them showcase this game. And drifting has also been a really, really big part of it. I'm a real big drifting fan. I watch D1 every year, keep up with the competition and all the car builds and everything that goes on with that. And it was a huge part of Forza Horizon 5 and Forza Horizon 6. Definitely got to take it to the next level, being in Japan, the home of drifting, the originator, the home of the Drift King, the home of Initial D and all that stuff. And especially with the upcoming Drift King movie from Han, from Tokyo Drift. He's shooting a new movie. So, I mean, this is all lining up for them as far as being collaborations and all the things they could really do with this, this expansion into Japan for the Forza Horizon series. So I'm super excited about that. Game Freak's game does look good. I got to see more. I'm not a big Souls fan, so I'll see where that kind of goes when they show a little more of it. And then, like Morgan was stating, State of Decay is the other big thing I really want to see from them. Just because, like, I've always seen so much potential for that franchise. And I just think there's so much they could do with it, with the base building, the 4-player co-op. Like, I mean, you could really just go crazy, like, with the amount of expandability and things that they could have on hand, crafting mechanics, stuff like that, and just really build up that world and have, like, an incredible base with, medical personnel and all kinds of stuff to really kind of give the game, long legs, make you want to play for a long time. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with that. So hopefully they do show that as well. I know some people are anticipating a shadow drop as well. Again, hopefully we see something about the other thing. Could be something with Fallout. Like Morgan was saying, they had a pretty big missed opportunity not having a Fallout game ready to go alongside the hit TV show, and it is airing currently. And Todd and company have stated for a long time.
It's his anniversary too.
Yes, their anniversary. And then Fallout 3 has been requested for a long time for people to go back. That's the kind of the thing that started it all for them. That was their take on the Fallout series from 1 and 2, where they switched it up and it became their own complete thing. So between that and New Vegas, like, it is a perfect time to show something off with Fallout, and even potentially Shadow Drop like they did for Oblivion. So hopefully they've got something in the tank. Fallout would just be massive right now for them. So yeah, that's just so much potential for Xbox right now to just really run away with this year, and have so many potential game-changing moves that they could do. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And like C-Fresh had said in the chat earlier, all these games are going to look great on that PS5 Pro. Can't wait. So, yeah. Speaking of PS5 Pro or, Pro-like systems, we did have some information come out or leak about Steam, but we also did have some official news from Steam. So the official news that I'll look at first, this one is a big thing for anyone who has ever done mods on PC. Not really like a thing for everybody in here, but a big thing that even console players have seen that people have complained about is that when these games do update typically on Steam or wherever you have them, your mods will break, right? This has been a big issue for me, and why I usually wait a long time until Bethesda or whatever game I'm modding states that they're done updating their game, because even a minor small backend update could break all your mods in a game. And it's happened a lot for me. CD Projekt Red, same thing. I don't go too crazy with the mods in Cyberpunk, but I do have a lot of car mods on Cyberpunk, and those recently broke with a really minor update that they recently did. So again, this is going to be super helpful. Basically, Steam is just going to give more control to the user, being able to lock the version of the game that you're on so that it does not update. Previously, they had a section where you could tell your games not to update unless you said so. But again, the problem with that, it would still prep the update. And I mean, honestly, if you're just going through and you're just kind of mindlessly, updating your games, you could still accidentally hit it and update them, and this would basically lock it, and you'd have to unlock it manually in order for the update to even be presented to you, which is something that I personally would prefer, as a lot of times, sometimes they'll do minor updates that don't even really do anything to the game and ends up breaking all your mods and you have to redo everything. So shout out to Steam for a quality of life update as far as that goes. Super helpful for the community and PC community overall, so I'm excited for that. But the main topic and the main thing that happened, the leak allegedly for Steam Machine pricing being $950 USD for the 512 gigabyte and about $1,070 for the 2 terabyte model. Again, these price ranges are kind of weird because obviously that doesn't seem like enough of a separation for a 2 terabyte versus a 512 gigabyte personally. So obviously there's some sort of discrepancy even if these are leaked, where one is probably maybe they got part of the data from Canadian and not USD or something, because those are just way too close together. But yeah, you can definitely see the sticker shock from a lot of people in the community, basically stating, it's pretty much, DOA if, it comes out at that price range. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people who are still interested in it. Quite a few people, want to travel with this device, that are looking at this device as their Steam machine away from home. You also have stuff like Steam Link as well, So for people who do have a more powerful PC, that they just can't necessarily take with them, being able to carry this small cube with you, take it to hotels, so on and so forth. You could use things like Steam Link, which is basically remote play, where your home computer would actually be what is playing it, and then you just get to play it on that device wherever you are on location, which actually works really well. I've done it one time on accident before I even meant to use Steam Link. I didn't really mean to use it. When me and a friend were playing a game at work. I forgot the name of the game right now. I could picture it, but I just don't remember the name. And it started playing, but then I realized I wasn't playing on my laptop. It was playing from my local computer at home. So I've actually tested it, and that's really good as well. So it does provide a lot of options for people, and I definitely get why a lot of people are still interested. I still think it'll sell out at this price range, even if that is the case. I think above this, though, it would be crazy. But it's not unheard of, right? Like, if you look at I think it was the Legion Go 2, it's like $11.99 or something like that, and I don't even think it has this much storage. So I could definitely see, and obviously that's a handheld, but this is a small custom form factor device. So I'm not going to say I can't see it hitting that price. I think $8.99, $7.99. However, the lowest you can get it below 1,000, I think the better. But yeah, I think you still get quite a few people buying in. I think the 512 gigabyte model needs to be more like $749 or something, and I think that's a much easier pill to swallow for a lot of people, given kind of the state of the industry and how some people want to use this device. I know particularly Morgan was interested in using it for a lot of her indie games that don't necessarily come to consoles. So I think they just need to consider the market. But yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. Fox particularly said when we were talking about it the other night that she'd still be interested at 1,000, but basically going like 1,200 plus or something would be kind of crazy. So it'll be interesting to see what the final is. But based on these prices, we'll see how some of the panel's feeling and what are they thinking. So Weeb, starting with you first. I know you've been looking at laptops and you have a Steam Deck already. So is it interesting to you at this price, or just you're like, you know what, I'm 100% out?
I'm pretty much out. Yeah, I really like. I don't even see like the added value to it personally, because I already have a Steam Deck, and yes, I know it's more powerful, but also it's not a handheld, and that's sort of the convenient part of the Steam Deck. And I can hook it up on my TV if I want to. So it's not like it's adding anything I don't already can do with my Steam Deck. Yeah, the power, sure, that's nice. But still, like, it's not doing anything, mind-boggling. Like, it's barely better than the Series S. Like, yeah, what's the point? Yeah, like you said, like, I would rather just get a gaming laptop and use that as my sort of PC or Steam gaming device that can handle games with a better fidelity than the Steam Deck can. Yeah, I mean it's not surprising. Like, this was kind of what people were expecting. And yeah, and especially with the the RAM apocalypse and everything is going on. Yeah, this is totally in line with the expectations, but it's also kind of it kind of feels like this is you said down. It's gonna be for the very niche hobbyists who just want to have something that's labeled Steam.
Yeah.
I think that even for a lot of people who were excited for this, they're kind of probably now basically priced out of the market. Like that's sort of not without outside of their budget range release for a novelty thing, because that's what it basically is. It's not it's not a gaming PC per se. It's not a console. It's not a handheld. So yeah, again, like what I've also previously iterated, like I don't think the entire point of the Steam box is to, or Steam machine is to sort of conquer the market. I think this was sort of a partially a strategic move to get ahead of competitors like Microsoft, who were trying to basically do the same thing. Like that's what they're saying, that their next Xbox is going to be. It's just going to be basically a PC with an Xbox brand, and with trying to push their ecosystem forward. And that's sort of like just like with the Steam Deck, they were ahead of the curve, and they disrupted the market enough that nobody was really gonna conquer it, and there's going to be too much competition there for any one party to essentially make a difference there, and that's sort of going to protect their own hegemony, that their own market position, that Steam's still going to be the place to be, and in control of the ecosystem, or the platform that they're dependent on. I think that's sort of the entire point of the Steam machine. Because if they really wanted it to sell gangbusters, yeah, that's not the price point you're going to come out with it. Like, and they've said that, like, they were going to price it as a PC. That's why they were iterating it as a PC, because they want to not lose money on it. And they're not aiming to beat out the console competitors or whatever, as some have said. Like, they're not coming for PlayStation. They're just making a move ahead of time to prevent parties like Microsoft doing their shenanigans, and somehow try to essentially take a piece of their pie before they can even make the first move. That's basically how I read it. And but to answer your question, no, I'm not interested in the Steam machine.
Cool. Morgan, how are you feeling as someone who is definitely interested in the prospect of this device, if in fact the price range at least is around this area? Is this looking viable for you, or you feeling like, you know what, maybe a Steam Deck is exactly what I need?
Yeah, if it's over $1,000, I'm out. I think that's we're getting on the precipice of a little ridiculous.
Okay.
Like, I get what they're trying to do. Like, I get the form factor, the convenience of it, because initially it did speak to me. I had been saying for a while that they needed to bring the Steam machine back, and they finally did. So yeah, as someone who really isn't into PC gaming, I like gaming on my couch. Bringing the PC to my couch is it's very enticing. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to the price. I do find the price a little questionable, because it is a little close as far as like the pricing difference between the two different models. The price seems a little too close for something that's a device that has 4 times as much storage as the other one, but it only has like a $125 difference. That really doesn't make sense to me. Especially like when you look at something like their other products, like the Steam Deck. Like, even with like the 256 gigabyte model versus like the 512 gigabyte, like that's like those two models have like the same price difference as the leaked models. And those are only, those two only have a storage difference of, a half. This one is quadruple, but it's the same price difference. That doesn't really sound right to me. Like, I feel like, especially like you look at other devices, like the initial launch price of like the Series S versus the X, right? Where one was like half the storage of the other. the Series S launched at 300 versus the Series X that was like 500, right? It was a $200 difference. So it just seems like the gap in price would be a lot wider with these two devices, seeing how it's 512 versus 2 terabytes, right? Like but we'll see. Uh but yeah, I think this is just coming at a time where people are kind of itching for the price for this device, right? Especially since they announced it like only like a month or so ago, and they said, this was coming in early 2026. This is around the time that people are expecting some news, and we really haven't heard anything since the initial reveal of the device. So I think this is a little too convenient of a time that they leaked this. I don't really 100% believe that this is the price point. Not saying that the price itself is like out of the possibility. Like I think, this a thousand plus is just too unrealistic. It's not that. It's just I just think I don't know. I just feel like this leak isn't 100% legitimate, and the pricing itself, like the number itself, is weird. So it just doesn't seem correct to me. Um, but yeah, I am interested in the Steam Machine. We'll see what happens when Steam announces it. Like I'm sure like they're holding off as long as they can because of the whole RAM debacle thing. Um, but early 2026 is a lot of people think that means January, but the real fiscal year really doesn't end till March, so they have time before announcing it and announcing pre-orders and things like that. So they could, for all we know, announce it, reveal the price and anything tomorrow, but they still have time for it to be early 2026. So we could be waiting a couple months or more for to be revealed. Even like with the Steam Deck, I remember when they initially revealed it, like the price announcement and pre-orders got delayed because of COVID and everything like that. So it's just we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Steam Machine. Um like I said, I am interested, but like if it's too much, I'm just go for the Steam Deck. I'll just it'll it'll suck, like not the Steam Deck itself will suck, but just because I initially I do want the Steam Machine, but if it's out of my price range, it's out of my price range. It is what it is. um I'm gonna get those PC games one way or the other. I'm gonna see what I have to do, but
You want to play that Magic School, eh?
yeah, I
The
mean
one with
that's one of the games. I mean, they'll probably eventually come to PlayStation, but it's more of like the stuff that really never comes to PlayStation that I'm kind of looking at, or the stuff that never really comes to console at all. There's a lot of smaller developers that just kind of stick to Steam, and I get why. I'm not mad about it. It's just I just have a device that allows me to play those games. But yeah, I'm anxiously waiting for them to announce it because it can go one of either way. Like it's like it'll be like, okay, let me go ahead and get this pre-order in, or oh, okay, let me go ahead and look at these Steam Decks real quick. And I think the pre-order itself is going to be insane because there are going to be so many people trying to. I feel like this is one of those things where if you don't get that initial wave of supply that they have, that it's going to be on back order for a while. And that's kind of the thing that really sucks about it. It's going to be a lot of people trying to get it, and there's going to be a lot of people scalping the hell out of it. Like whatever price that they have on there, we can expect to see like when those pre-orders go live and people get their stuff, eBay is going to be full of Steam machines that are like $5,000 or some crazy shit. Like I just hope that if the price is right, and it's something that it's a price range that I'm comfortable with, that I am able to secure a pre-order. Because I still remember trying to pre-ordering for the PlayStation Pro. Like it was a fight. Like it's not something that I enjoy doing. So we'll see what happens with this, especially since the Steam machine, they said that they're only going to be putting the pre-orders up on the site the same way they did
The same way they did the Steam Deck.
the Steam Deck.
No.
So it's only one place where you can get it, which kind of sucks because, at least like with other stuff, you're like, okay, I didn't get it at Best Buy, so I'll try to get it on Amazon or I'll try to get it over here, try to get it over there. But it's like you got one shot to get the Steam machine, one place you can get it. So, yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. And I do, like you said, I agree. I think it's definitely going to be sold out day one, like, regardless.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be sold out.
Yeah. At the initial allocation, 100%. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the final price is. I'm really curious to see if somehow they mixed up, like, the Canadian price or something with one of these, because
Canada's prices are crazy. So
yeah,
that would be good because that would mean that it'd be like $200 less over here.
Exactly.
Canada's expensive as hell,
and then that would make more sense about the pricing discrepancy between the two. So so I'm interested to see if that's what happened, because like I said, $749 sounds beautiful.
I could do $749. That's fine.
Yeah, because then, like you said, even if it's just the 512, it's super easily upgradable later. So, and then in the meantime, you can fit any indie game on there you want to play, and even some of the bigger titles.
The storage isn't even like a factor for me. Like I don't mind just deleting shit and putting another game in there. And like I said, I'm only going to be getting really the smaller games anyway. So
exactly.
I really don't need 2 terabytes. Like, I'm cool with the 512 model, but
agreed. Omar, I know you don't even remotely need this device. You already have a 4070. But are you shocked at the price for this device, or sounds about right?
No, I don't know about the price in sense of if it's suited or not, but from what I read even before, it was going to be around this price, and then you add the whole RAM situation. Not gonna lie, I would not be surprised if it would be higher and not lower, simply because of the RAM situation.
Okay.
But because one RTX was cut by so much, it raised the price by so much. One was 3,000 or something like that, or 5,000. I forgot that price. But yeah, my point is, I legit think maybe it's gonna be higher. As for my need for it, you already know. I'm golden, and I still don't understand why Morgan don't pull the trigger the way I did. She would be a happy camper right now.
No, I think it's just for her. It's just
'cause I don't want it.
Yeah, she didn't need it for. Yeah, she didn't want
it, but you do want what it comes with.
Yeah, she wants some of the access to some of the games, but in a form factor that works for her. That's gives her that console-like experience, which is why she's looking at either the Steam Deck or the Steam machine. And want to deal with all the PC issues, which I get.
Yeah, no, I fully understand. I'm with you on the whole Steam issue. You know me. You know me. I need to format my PC. That's where we are right now. So yeah, I feel you on that end. But yeah, I as for Calpers, I'm curious how much this one's gonna sell. Mostly because of the price hype that it already gotten.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what its actual launch price is. Like, I feel like if its launch price is around what we're looking at now, based on the leaks or the 749, I think they'll get scalped for at least 300 to 500 more. At least.
Another thing, this is super important. If the rumored Half-Life 3 is a thing, yeah, if it launched with that, it's over.
Yeah, I don't think it will. Mainly just because Valve I don't know, they never really seem to be dialed in like that when it comes to launching a game with their titles. They really just kind of depend on the machine itself kind of speaking for itself, which is understandable because I mean SteamOS is the by far the biggest competition on the market that has ever come close to being a viable gaming operating system outside of Windows. So I think their biggest thing is just establishing that and working on getting some of these multiplayer titles working. I think that's probably their biggest thing because right now anything that uses the anti-cheat system, the heavier one that most third parties use, doesn't currently run on SteamOS. So I think they're definitely going to update it in order to be able to run that before the Steam machine comes out, and then that's going to give it probably the widest range of competitive and compatibility options. So I think that's probably what you're looking at more than that. I mean, if Half-Life 3 is as good as people hope it is, and it also comes out on top of that, then yeah, I agree.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like I said, with that, we're going to get ready to get up out of here. It's going on 3 hours, so we'll save some of the other topics we had, as those are kind of universal. We can get to those whenever. And we'll get to those next week. But yeah, shout out to everybody who came through and joined us today for our first episode back of 2026. Again, it's always awesome to have everybody in the chat participating, seeing what everybody else is playing, seeing what everybody else is anticipating. And we're off to a great start. And there's a lot of games coming. You know, I know a big one this month for a lot of people is going to be the new Trails game, Beyond the Horizon. I personally have started the original, but I got to get through that. But again, there's just so much to play. I'm honestly not in a rush for anything to come out. Like, I'm still excited for stuff like Crimson Desert and so on. When it comes out, it comes out. But I've just got so much stacked up to play. I still have to play the expansion, the standalone expansion for RoboCop and stuff like that. So there's just a lot. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. 2026 starting off crazy. The backlog is insane. And there's a lot of stuff to get through. More firefighting to be done, like I mentioned earlier. So we got to do more of that too. But yeah, we're going to get up out of here. Weeb, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Great show again. Indeed, thanks for the chat, for participating. I mean, it's a crazy year, and for me, like, next month is already crazy. Dragon Quest coming out, Kiwami 3, and Romeo Deadman. Like, I mean, I don't have enough time to play all the games we're gonna play that month already. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky as the Weep Sheriff and Infinite Rhizome. The first of the year, Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
You can also find me on Twitter at Chill Bandit. You know, thanks everybody for joining us in this new year. It's going to be a great year. Like everybody's been saying, lots of games, lots of things to talk about, you know, showcase. We just talked about a showcase, and then we got a showcase in a couple weeks with Xbox. So, you know, it's looking really positive for 2026. You know, I'm hoping this year to play even more games than I did last year. But thank you guys for joining us. You know, I know we've been absent for 2 weeks, but we appreciate you guys coming back around for us into the new year. And Otter Nation.
Otter Nation. Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
You can find me at Caravan Culture on Twitter. And maybe want to mention Podcast? We have not had a show in quite a while. So I'm curious how that's gonna be. On every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Player game. We literally just started the new year and backlog is already crazy. Backlog from last year games, not to mention Mio. It's coming out if you're into Metrovania. That's coming out on the 22, I think. I'm super excited about that one. See you next week. And if you're a JRPG fan, make sure you join next week. Thrifty, join the show next week. We're gonna talk about it.
All right, and with that, I am your host, Innate, or known as the Real Innate on Twitter and Blue Sky. Again, thank you for everybody who came out and joined us live, and for those listening later as well. Appreciate the support. Again, shout out to Kay, working hard out there with her daughter, making that money. Always part of the Otter Nation. But yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Our nation.
Otter Nation.